Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to work on the protected route in the backend. So first of all, let me tell you what is the protected route. So if you go to the user's route, where it is, not in the front end, the back end. Okay, let me search user's route. If you see, register and login are the public endpoints. That means anyone can access this register and login endpoint. But the API endpoint now I am writing is protected. So that is get user details by ID. So the front end will just pass the token in the headers. So with the help of the token, the backend has to send the complete user details. So let me check that. Let me write that. So router.post sorry, get only, router.get. So simple, get user, or else get user info, you can call it anything. Instead of that I am just writing get current user. So this is the endpoint, router.get. So basically what we will write, we will write an async function, so which will take request and response and use the callback. So this is the normal operation, but as I said, this is the protected route, so we need to validate the token which the front end is sending. So that logic we have to handle in the protected route. So first of all, let me write the try catch block here. As I said, in this endpoint we are not going to get anything from the front end. Of course, this is the get current user endpoint, but we are not going to get the user ID. We will get only the token. So from the token we have to extract the user ID, because while creating the token we have added the encrypted we have encrypted the token with the user ID. So even if you decrypt now, you will be having the user ID. So you just need to add this logic in the endpoint. So we may have multiple protected routes, so that is the reason we cannot put that encryption and decryption logic in the single endpoint. So you have to use a middleware for that. That means for every endpoint, first you have to pass the token validation, that means JWT token validation, then only you have to execute the logic in the API endpoint. So this is the concept of the protected route. Now I am going to create that endpoint, sorry, authentication middleware. So for that I am just writing a folder called as the middlewares. The first one should be auth middleware, middleware.js. So here I am just writing const JWT is equal to required JSON web token, and now I'm just writing it here, module.exports is equal to a function. So this request body will be having the access to the front end request body. So I'm just writing it here, the try catch block. So if the control goes to the catch block, that means there is an issue with the token, so you should not send any response to the front end, that means success response. So you have to send the error message, response.401 invalid token here. Now in the try block you need to validate the token. So const token is equal to request.header.xauth token. So basically we will use some different structure. So request.headers.authorization. So we will send the authorization value will be bearer followed by the token. So if you split this, the first 0th index bearer will be present, and at the 1th index token will be present. So this is the standard that we will use to send the JWT token from the front end to the back end. So let me show you. Go to the front end, Axios instance, API calls, index. So here this is the headers, right? So basically we will send authorization like this, bearer followed by the local storage.getItem token. So if you split this authorization, bearer will be at 0th index and token will be at 1th index. So that is the reason we have written authorization dot split by space and taking the value at the 1th index. Now you need to validate this token variable. So very simple, you will be having a method called as the jwt.verify. You can see jwt.verify method. So the first parameter will be the token, second parameter will be the secret key. So this secret key must match with the secret key which you have used for the encryption. That means creating the token. So once you get the value to the decoded, you are going to get the user ID. So I am just attaching it, request dot body dot user ID. User ID is equal to decoded dot user ID. That's all. Okay, yep, I think we are good. Now let's go to the users route. Now here first call the auth middleware. So it has to be imported at the top, you can see. And once, okay, go to the auth middleware. So once you got this request.body.user ID, you have to call the next method. That means execute the logic in the actual API endpoint, which is nothing but this try block. So here also catch block, throw the error, and in the try block, go to the const user await. So user dot find by ID, which is nothing but request.body.user ID, and you should not get the password. That is the reason minus password. Okay, select minus password, everything is okay. Now if not user, need not to worry. So success true, message user details fetched successfully, data is nothing but the user. That's all guys, very simple thing. So we are going to have lot of protected routes from now. The first protected route will be get current user. So once you send the token only, it will send the response to the front end. But here you can see there is no authentication middleware here. That means anyone can access this login and registration endpoint. But coming to this get current user, only the logged in user should be able to access. So that means only the logged in user can be able to send the token from the front end to the back end. So that's all. This is about the protected route and the authentication middleware in the back end. So in the next lecture, we will see the protected route in the front end. Thank you.